Hello and welcome to the channel. This is your host, Dana Lee. In this chapter, we're going to talk about the economics of war. I hope you enjoyed the clip, and let's get to it.
Of Part 1. Part 2. Waging War. Sun Tzu said, "In the operations of war, where there are in the field 1,000 swift chariots, as many heavy chariots, and 100,000 mail-clad soldiers, with provisions enough to carry them 1,000 li, the expenditure at home and at the front, including entertainment of guests, small items such as glue and paint, and sums spent on chariots and armour, will reach the total of 1,000 ounces of silver per day. Such is the cost of raising an army of 100,000 men. When you engage in actual fighting, if victory is long in coming, then men's weapons will grow dull and their ardour will be damped. If you lay siege to a town, you will exhaust your strength. Again, if the campaign is protracted, the resources of the state will not be equal to the strain. Now, when your weapons are dulled, your ardour damped, your strength exhausted, and your treasure spent, other chieftains will spring up to take advantage of your extremity. Then no man, however wise, will be able to avert the consequences that must ensue. Thus, though we have heard of stupid haste in war, cleverness has never been seen associated with long delays. There is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged warfare. It is only one who is thoroughly acquainted with the evils of war that can thoroughly understand the profitable way of carrying it on. The skilful soldier does not raise a second levy. Neither are his supply wagons loaded more than twice. Bring war material with you from home, but forage on the enemy. Thus the army will have food enough for its needs. Poverty of the state exchequer causes an army to be maintained by contributions from a distance. Contributing to maintain an army at a distance causes the people to be impoverished. On the other hand, the proximity of an army causes prices to go up, and high prices cause the people's substance to be drained away. When their substance is drained away, the peasantry will be afflicted by heavy exactions. With this loss of substance and exhaustion of strength, the homes of the people will be stripped bare, and 3/10 of their income will be dissipated, while government expenses for broken chariots, worn-out horses, breastplates and helmets, bows and arrows, spears and shields, protective mantles, draught oxen, and heavy wagons will amount to 4/10 of its total revenue. Hence a wise general makes a point of foraging on the enemy. 1 cartload of the enemy's provisions is equivalent to 20 of one's own, and likewise a single picul of his provender is equivalent to 20 from one's own store. Now in order to kill the enemy, our men must be roused to anger. That there may be advantage from defeating the enemy, they must have their rewards. Therefore in chariot fighting, when 10 or more chariots have been taken, those should be rewarded who took the first. Our own flags should be substituted for those of the enemy, and their chariots mingled and used in conjunction with ours. The captured soldiers should be kindly treated and kept. This is called using the conquered foe to augment one's own strength. In war, then, let your great object be victory, not lengthy campaigns. Thus it may be known that the leader of armies is the arbiter of the people's fate, the man on whom it depends whether the nation shall be in peace or in peril. End of Part 2. Recorded in Toronto, Ontario by Moira Fogarty, October 2006.
By this metric, the War on Terror is a failed campaign. Despite the record it set, and despite all of the goals being met. I mean, we took Baghdad in 24 hours from landing. That was a new record in warfare. Afghanistan fell in a month. That was also a record in warfare. From my research, No other country on earth has been able to walk in on the Afghan and dislodge them from their places of power in any amount of time. Alexander the Great couldn't do it. Soviet Union couldn't do it. But we did. I don't think that's been done since Genghis Khan sent his horde rampaging across Asia and set the entire Islamic world back to the Stone Age. So yeah, that's kind of impressive when you think about it like that. But Sun Tzu said, no nation benefits from prolonged war. And he's correct. I mean, if you were paying attention to the news back in the day, they were always talking about how much treasure we were spending prosecuting the early occupation. And we did expend a lot of our national treasure on that. And then, to protect the prize, we have had to maintain an occupying force just to keep the Taliban from rising out of their caves and killing all the decent people that were actually happy we showed up and kicked the Taliban out in the first place. So there's that. But really, it don't take a genius to come up with these conclusions. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that particular subject. In other news, I heard today that Congress has passed, or is in serious debate, I'm not entirely clear on which, that females have to apply for the draft, same as the males do now. Congratulations, feminism. I hope you really enjoy the war with China, because that's going to be our next big drafting thing. Alrighty, that was our show for today. Thank you for stopping by and spending some time with me. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell notifier so that you get all of our updates. And we'll see you next time. Laters.